All right, let's talk about how to actually learn faster and make things stick. For good.
So have you ever had this happen? You read a whole page of a book, you get to the very last sentence, and nothing. You have absolutely no clue what you just read. It's like the words just went in one eye and out the other.
Okay, but here's the thing. That feeling, it's not your fault. It's just a symptom. The real problem is the way we've all been taught to learn. The good news is, we're about to fix that. In just the next few minutes, you're going to get a science-backed framework to help you absorb information like a total sponge.
All right, section 1. So first things first, before you even think about opening a book or starting a new course, the real work actually happens right up here, in your head. It's all about preparing your brain for learning.
You know, your beliefs can either be a trap or they can set you free. It's so easy to fall into this trap. We've all done it, right? You say something like, "Oh, I'm just terrible with names." And boom, just like that, you've created a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your brain just goes, "Okay, guess we're bad at names now," and it stops even trying. Those beliefs can literally put up a wall that stops you from learning.
But to fight back against that, listen to this quote from memory master Kevin Horsley. He says, "Every person has the same potential to master his or her memory." What he's saying is, a great memory isn't some gift you're born with. No, it's a skill. It's something you build. It doesn't matter where you came from. What matters is where you're going.
So where do you start? Well, you've got to build a solid foundation for focus. Step 1, eliminate distractions. Seriously, stop multitasking. Research shows it's a disaster for learning. It can literally cut your efficiency in half and double your mistakes. Next, find your zone. You know, that quiet spot where you can really concentrate at the time of day when you're at your best. And maybe the most important part, believe you can. You have to actively replace those negative thoughts like, "I can't do this," with something more like, "Okay, I can get this with a little practice."
Okay, section 2. Now that we've got the mindset sorted, you're ready for the really cool stuff, the actual techniques that make information stick. This is all about active learning in action.
Okay, look at this. On one side, we've got passive learning. This is what most of us do, right? Rereading, highlighting everything in sight, zoning out while listening. It feels like you're learning, but it has super low retention. That's why we forget so much. Now, look at the other side. Active learning. This is the game changer. Things like testing yourself, trying to teach it to someone else, or finding personal connections. These actions force your brain to actually engage with the material, and that's what builds those strong, lasting memories.
So how do you do active learning? Well, here's a fantastic framework for reading anything. It's called the SQ4R method. Think of it like turning reading from a chore into a treasure hunt. First, you survey. Just skim the chapter and headings. Then you question. Turn those headings into questions. Now you're not just reading, you're actively hunting for answers. After you read, you record your notes, recite what you learned out loud. In your own words, this is key. And finally, you review. It's a whole system that takes you from passive to active.
And what all this does is it leads to something called deeper processing. This is huge. It's the difference between just memorizing words for a test and actually getting the concept. The way you do it is by asking yourself simple questions like, how can I use this? Or how does this connect to something I already know? That's where the magic happens. When you build those personal connections, that's when information becomes truly unforgettable.
And you know what the ultimate tool for this is? The most powerful active learning tool you have? It's your imagination. We tend to think of memory as this sort of filing cabinet or a camera, but it's not. It's a creative process, and we're about to put that creativity to work.
There's a great little acronym for this, the SEE method. It's how you create powerful visualizations that stick. First, S for senses. Don't just see it. Hear it, smell it, feel it. Next, E for exaggeration. Make your mental images absolutely ridiculous, way larger than life. And the final E is for energize. Give your images action and movement. I mean, think about it. An elephant is pretty memorable, right? But an elephant wearing a pink bikini while juggling chainsaws? Yeah, you're not going to forget that.
Now, here's where it gets really cool. You can take these crazy vivid images you've created and place them in a location you know really, really well, like your own home. As you walk through your house in your mind, you see each image in a specific spot. This is an ancient technique called a memory palace, and it basically turns any familiar place into a powerful, organized system for remembering just about anything.
All right, section 3. So you've used all these active techniques, you've learned the material, but how do you make sure you don't forget it next week? Let's talk about how to lock in that learning for the long haul.
So this is something called the forgetting curve. And honestly, it's pretty brutal, but it's real. If you don't do anything to reinforce what you've learned, you lose more than half of it in just one day. And look at this chart. After a month, a staggering 82% of it can just be gone, vanished.
So how in the world do you fight that? The solution is actually way simpler than you think. It's called spaced review. All you have to do is briefly look over what you've learned, but over longer and longer intervals. Maybe after one day, then again after a week, then a month. Each time you do that, you're strengthening the connections in your brain, basically telling it, hey, this is important, and flattening that scary curve.
And here's a tip that might sound a little weird, but it's backed by science. Take more breaks. Seriously. Trying to cram for hours and hours is actually super inefficient. Just taking a quick 5-minute break every hour lets your brain hit the reset button, process what you've just learned, and come back totally recharged.
But maybe the most powerful memory tool of all is totally free, and you use it every single night. It's sleep. When you're asleep, your brain isn't just off, it's working hard, sorting through the day's information and cementing those new memories. Getting a full 7 to 9 hours of sleep isn't a luxury when you're learning. It's absolutely essential. Okay, section 4. So what does all this add up to? What's your brain's true potential? It's pretty simple, really. Effective learning isn't about working harder. It's about working smarter. It's time to change your entire approach. I absolutely love this quote from Jim Rohn. If you don't like how things are, change it. You're not a tree. It's such a great reminder that you're not stuck. If the old way of learning isn't getting you the results you want, you have all the power you need to change that. And you can start right now. So at the end of the day, the real question isn't if you can learn faster and remember more, because you absolutely can. The real question is, with all these new tools, what are you going to master first?